Welcome. In this explainer, we're jumping right into the work of Alina Chamberlain to really understand the dynamics of masculine interest in a long-term relationship, all based on the key ideas from her book, She Who Awakens. So let's start with something you might have felt, that subtle kind of unnerving sense that his focus, his energy, it's just not all with you anymore. It's a really common feeling, and honestly, it can be super confusing. Okay, so what's the answer? Well, the author here, Alina Chamberlain, says it's not about watching him closer or getting more anxious. Nope. The focus actually shifts completely back to you. It's all about mastering your own world and your own energy. Let's dig into what that actually looks like. So, here's the core idea. A man's interest isn't some constant, static thing. It's a dynamic energy. And the goal, according to the author, is to become what she calls a sovereign woman. That means being intellectually vibrant, physically radiant, and really importantly, emotionally autonomous. And look, this isn't about changing for him. It's about leveling up for yourself. Now, when his energy does shift, it is so easy to jump to the absolute worst-case scenario, right? But the source material points to a key concept that might just completely reframe how you see the situation. The book makes a really critical distinction here. This switching of attention isn't necessarily a physical affair. It's about where he's investing what the author calls his creative libido. Basically, his vital energy and focus are being spent somewhere else, maybe on a big project at work, a new obsession or hobby, or even just a new group of friends. So let's be super clear. It is absolutely crucial to know the difference between these two things. A physical affair is one thing, but this switching of attention, well, that's an energy leak that calls for a whole different strategy. Okay, but a word of caution here. The goal isn't paranoia. Any one of these signs could mean absolutely nothing. But according to the source, when you see a cluster of these things happening together, that often points to a bigger shift going on inside him. So what do? What's the recommended first step? The book is really strong on this. Don't nag, don't make accusations. The argument is that this just proves his point, in his mind, that he needs to look elsewhere for positive energy. The first move is strategic, and it's all inward. This slide just lays out the strategy perfectly. This isn't about playing mind games. It's about recalibrating the whole dynamic. By focusing on your own life, your own glow up, you create this natural magnetic pull. You're reminding him of your value, which makes him want to reinvest his energy to secure his place in your world. All right, next up. Let's see how this whole idea builds, because the source points to another huge factor we have to consider, the biological reality of that midlife shift that a lot of men go through. What's so striking about this is how specific it is. This isn't just some vague movie trope. The source frames this as a documented biological and psychological event. It's a real thing that many men experience right around this age. So during this phase, he becomes hyper-aware of the energy of the woman he's with. He might be feeling stuck or dissatisfied, and the book argues that he will instinctively start looking for a source of vitality, something to help him feel like he can still conquer his goals. Okay, so what's your role in all this? The book argues it's not to manage his crisis for him, but to be an estrogenic catalyst. What does that mean? It means focusing on your own vibrant health and positive energy. This, in turn, creates an environment at home that actually stimulates his drive and helps him take on his challenges. This brings us to a really fascinating and honestly pretty counterintuitive strategy. Instead of seeing his hobbies as the enemy that's pulling him away, the source suggests we should see them as a crucial tool for his success and, by extension, for the relationship. And here's exactly how that's supposed to work. His hobby basically acts as a training ground. It's a low-stakes place where he gets to practice setting a goal and then achieving it. That creates a victory dopamine hit that then spills over into his career, his confidence, the whole shebang. So you have a choice. You can be the manager, the one who sees his hobby as a threat and tries to restrict it, which just creates conflict. Or you can be the muse, the one who supports his drive, aligns herself with his success, and makes your home the place he wants to come back to. So let's pull all of these ideas together. The source presents this final, really transformative concept, an ultimate way of being that can totally redefine the entire relationship dynamic. And this right here is the ultimate takeaway. Real, lasting magnetism.
It doesn't come from trying to control him or his attention. It comes from mastering your own energy and creating an environment, a place of power that inspires him and that he genuinely wants to be a part of. And that's the question we're left with. Everything we've looked at today suggests that the key to reigniting his interest isn't found by trying to manage his world, but by mastering your own, your energy, your interests, your autonomy. Thanks so much for joining this explainer.
You can find the electronic version of book She Who Awakens by Alina Chamberlain at wishforlove.org.